upward to the skies, and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing, walking, seated, or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. And we bow. We'll remain in noble silence until the start of the service at 10 o'clock.
I'd like to invite our incense lighters to come forward, please. And we'll be chanting the incense gatha together. It's in the front of your chant book on page 2. In gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Bow. Good morning. Nice to see everyone here. Some courtesy announcements. We do have a play area downstairs. If you have a child who gets distracted or needs a break from the service, just walk around the back there, and then the stairway is to my left there. As soon as you get downstairs on your right, toys and books and things. There's a bathroom downstairs. There's also a bathroom through the curtain there. If you need to get up at any point during the service to stretch or to use the bathroom, we just ask you walk around the back there where Biapchi is walking. We'll be chanting together from the chant book. We'll let you know what page we're chanting from. We invite you to join us if you're comfortable with that. We try and chant mindfully so that you chant loud enough so you can hear yourself, but not so loud that you can't hear your neighbor, because you want to try and be in sync with them. All right, at this time, I'd like ask everyone to stand up and greet each other silently with bows. And if you'll remain standing and turn your chant books to, I believe it's page 3. We'll be chanting the 3 refuges together. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and passion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the 3 jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to practice mindful breathing and smiling, looking deeply into things. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to offer joy to one person in the morning, and to help relieve the grief of one person in the afternoon. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and passion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. On page 4, we'll chant the Heart Sutra together. Compassion from
from the practice of prajna, paramita. Perceive the emptiness of all five skandhas, and deliver all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not formed nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind. No realm of sight. No realm of consciousness. No ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance. No old age and death, nor extinction of them. No suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but the prajna, paramita. Therefore, the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Away from all delusive views, one reaches final nirvana. All the Buddhas of the past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attains the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharma, the radiant fearless mantra, the utmost supreme mantra, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. For you may now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Dhamma, prajna, paramita, hridaya, sutra.
We have been introducing a little prostration practice here at the temple lately. I think you've seen Ignacio doing it. So I wanted to go ahead and continue that tradition. So for anyone who is interested, so prostrations are just like taking foundation, taking support, going for refuge to the Buddha, our teacher, the Dharma, his teachings, and our Sangha here. And these are places that we just go for support and refuge. So what you can do is, if you don't want to get down on the floor, I'm not going to get down on the floor, just do bow like this. back up. And in order to keep us kind of in unison, we'll say, I go for refuge to Buddha. Come back. I go for refuge to Dharma. And I go for refuge to Sangha. So if you're comfortable, I invite you to join me. I go for refuge to Buddha. I go for refuge to Dharma. I go for refuge to Sangha. Thank you. Please be seated. Can you hear me okay? My name is Kunga Nyima. I am the senior teaching monk here at the Grand Rapids Buddhist Temple. Thank you all for joining today. Great to see you. So my talk today is actually part 2. I did the first part last month. The title of the talk is How to Use the 6 Paramitas to Save All Beings. So last month I talked about Dana Paramita, to be generous, Sila Paramita, to be pure and virtuous, and Kshanti Paramita, which is to be patient. And I thought maybe everybody wasn't there, so if there's a handout in the back of your chant book, so if you pull that handout out, what we can do is we can chant the 6 Paramitas together as a refresher. And this is the same chant that we teach to the Bodhisattva students and encourage them to memorize as a way to deepen their practice. Dana Paramita, may I be generous and helpful. Sila Paramita, may I be pure and virtuous. Kshanti Paramita, may I be patient, may able to bear and forbear wrongs of others. Virya Paramita, may I be strenuous, energetic, and persevering. Dhyana Paramita, may I practice meditation and attain concentration and oneness to serve all beings. Prajna Paramita, may I gain wisdom and be able to give the benefit of my wisdom to others. Thank you. So like I said, I'll be talking about the 6 Paramitas. The guide for my talk today came from Thich Nhat Hanh's The Heart of the Buddhist Teachings, which is a text that we give to our preceptor class to study. In case you're interested, the preceptor class will be starting up again in September. It goes September to the end of November, and it's an opportunity for you to deepen your practice and your connection to the temple. When you go through the preceptor class, you come in early, you help set up the temple, you have special mini lectures before service. Every other Sunday, you have a meeting after service to talk about your practice and share what you're studying. We provide you with the text, The Heart of the Buddhist Teachings, and also the Dhammapada to look it through. And also you are introduced to journaling about your spiritual practice, which is a great way to develop and deepen your practice. At the end of that 3-month period, we have a ceremony where you receive the 5 precepts, and also you receive a Dharma name. So if anyone's Some people were talking to me yesterday at the retreat about how to deepen their practice. And that's a way, if you haven't done that yet, I recommend you try that out. So the 6 paramitas can be considered as different than the precepts, in that the precepts are often translated as what not to do. Not to lie, not to steal, not to kill, not to engage in sexual misconduct. And the paramitas are like what to do, to be generous, to be ethical, to be patient, to be persistent, to be dedicated to your meditation practice, and to develop wisdom. So it's nice to focus on that, the positive things of what you can do to develop your practice. I wanted to kind of review the first 3 because, some people may not have been here and it's been a month. Maybe you don't remember what was said about them. The first one, dana, to be generous. We talk about the dana every Sunday here after temple service, about donating your time or funds. But during my talk, I really talked about donating your presence and your time to listen to people, to provide that support to people. And I use the example of the platinum rule. So the golden rule is to do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And the platinum rule is to do unto others as they would want to be done unto, as they would want to be treated. So treat others as they would want to be treated. So it's a little bit different because you really have to get to know the person before you can know how they want to be treated, what pronouns they want to be used, what subjects you can talk about with them and what subjects are not comfortable, that kind of thing. So the next paramita I talked about last month was Sila paramita, to be pure and virtuous. And I talked about the contrast between the precepts and the paramitas. Though in our version of the precepts that we have in our chant books by Thich Nhat Hanh, it does cover, what not to do and what to do to develop your practice. What I talked about primarily with ethics was when you abstain from doing something wrong, that's a good start, right? Because we know with our understanding of karma, if you do something unskillful to someone else, that unskillful act will come back to you in your own life. You're planting a seed that's going to ripen later. So to not cause suffering for other beings, is an important part of our vow as bodhisattvas. The next step is to actually save other beings, to reduce their suffering. And so that to do that, you not only have to abstain from doing what's incorrect or unskillful, but you have to actually make an effort to do what is skillful. I've been listening to teachings by Michael Geshe Roach on the internet, and he teaches in Tibetan lineage, and he likes to use the example of angry people. He says, when you encounter somebody angry, like at work, he said, you're encountering this angry person because some point in your past, you were angry at somebody else. And now this seed is kind of ripening, so anger is reproducing in your life. You could also say that you were angry at someone else, and now, maybe, if you're feeling angry, that's because of that anger too. So the idea is that the only way to stop angry people from popping up in your life, or also to stop yourself from becoming angry at people, is whenever you come in contact with anger, is to present patience, to not be angry. So I thought that was a good tie-in with the Kshanti paramita, of being patient, and also the idea of ethics. Not only we're not supposed to do wrong because that's unskillful and that creates karmic results for ourselves, but also it just kind of creates, the idea is that every time we do something that's negative, that plants a seed that more negative things are going to come up in our own lives. When I talked about the Kshanti paramita, I also talked about Shariputra's roar. And that that was a story told by the Buddha in which one of his main disciples, Shariputra, was accused by another monk of knocking him down. And instead of, even though he's falsely accused and had to be brought up in front of the whole Sangha to defend himself, Shariputra didn't get angry. He was very patient and presented a teaching to the Sangha. So, maybe ourselves, when someone accuses us of something that we've done that we feel like is false, and we feel like, angry about that, we can take that model, and try and be patient instead, and realize that probably that person, has some type of experience that made them think that, we did something wrong. Their perceptions are different than ours. So from there, I want to go ahead and move into the paramitas that I wanted to talk about today. These are virya, which is like energetic energy or effort. Meditation, dhyana, and also prajna, wisdom. So I want to start with virya, paramita. May it be strenuous, energetic, and persevering. So in Thich Nhat Hanh, the Heart of the Buddhist Teachings, he brought out this, he referenced the great discourse on the 4 grounds of mindfulness. So that's on your handout, and what I'd like to do is have us all kind of read that together. You see it's kind of near the bottom there, and it starts out, in what monks is right effort? And what monks is right effort? Here, monks, a monk generates the will to prevent the arising of unarisen, evil, unwholesome mental states. They make a strong effort, stirs up their energy, applies their mind to it, and strives. To eradicate those evil, unwholesome mental states that have arisen in them, they generate the will, make a strong effort, stirs up their energy, applies their mind to it, and strives. To develop wholesome mental states that have not yet arisen in them, they generate will, make a strong effort, stirs up their energy, applies their mind to it, and strives. To maintain wholesome mental states that have arisen in them, not to let them fade away, to multiply them and bring them to full maturity and to full development, they generate will, make a strong effort, stirs up their energy, applies their mind to it, and strives. This monk is called right effort. So the early Buddhist teachings were all oral, right? So everything involved a lot of repetition, so it's easier for people to memorize them. So right effort, that term right effort might already be familiar with you because Sun Shin mentioned right effort in their talk last Sunday. It's part of the Eightfold Path. So here we're going to talk a little bit more detail about how do you apply right effort. And I like this little summary a lot because it just makes it so precise and, simple. Right effort is about if you have an unskillful thought in your mind rise up like anger, recognize it and try and let it go as soon as possible. If you know that you do certain things or certain situations create anger for you, don't do them. If you have something that creates positive states for you, makes you happy, fulfills you, helps others, do it. And if you have that experience in your mind, feeling joyful and helpful, keep it up. Keep that experience. Do whatever you can to maintain it. So it's really, really specific, starting with your thoughts. And myself in my own life, with the new elections, I noticed that I was having a lot more anger and frustrations and anxiety. And I'm just getting that from the news. I was in the habit of when I was driving from patient to patient, house at work, I would just click on NPR and, listen to the news stories. But now it seemed like every time I clicked it on, it was like I was getting anxiety about what they were talking about. I love NPR, but they do a really good job of not just telling you what happens, but what might happen. And that was really creating a problem for me. So I cut it back. Now I just listen to a news wind up that happens once a week. I know what's going on, but I'm not inundated every single day with every new bit of news. And I send that. That's really helpful for me. I know that when I have that feeling of anger or anxiety, one of the things that I find helpful is to think about the perspective on the other side. Think about the person who is acting that way. Think about some of the causes and conditions might have brought them to that. We can help ourselves by remembering that every single person was born as an innocent baby, right? When they were born as a baby, they were nothing bad about them. They basically, through their life experiences, kind of learned how to behave and how to act, from their parents, their society, events in their life, kind of directed them like, this is how you should act and this is how you shouldn't act. And some people learn ways that create a lot of suffering for other people. And that's going to create suffering for them. I mean, we believe in karma. We believe that your unhealthy behaviors in the world have repercussions not only for others, but also for yourself. Eventually, that seed's going to ripen. So if you remember that, and all those people that you might be thinking are acting in unwholesome ways, one of the reasons that we should be standing up and saying, don't do that and try and prevent that is because we want to save them from their own behavior, save them from their own actions. The other two part of that, developing wholesome feelings and holding on to those wholesome feelings or wholesome mental states. For me, I really get that just from studying the Dharma. And then, every time I go into the Buddhist scripture and I read about what the Buddha teaches about how to act in life and how to work with our lives, I find that really joyful and helpful. And then in order to maintain it, I just try and bring that to more and more parts of my life. I mean, getting ready for Dharma talks here is a huge help with that because I have to study the things a lot more closely and a lot more thoroughly in order to do that. So I encourage you to do that as well. Avoid the things that are creating unwholesome thoughts for you. You want to be informed, but you don't need to be informed every 5 minutes. And look at what gives you joy and try and cultivate those things and maintain those things. All right, so I'm going to skip meditation because we're just going to do a meditation, a guided meditation with the meditation practice. And I'm going to jump right to prajna paramita. May I gain wisdom and be able to give the benefit of my wisdom to others. So the source that we're all familiar with for prajna wisdom is the Heart Sutra. We say form is emptiness and emptiness is form. Form is not other than emptiness. Emptiness not other than form. The same is true of feelings, thoughts, impulse, and consciousness. So oftentimes people who are new to the temple will be confused by that sutra. What does it mean with all these emptiness and all this? This is not, this is not, this is not. So I wanted to first give you an interpretation of emptiness from Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh asks us to imagine a wave on the ocean. Okay. The wave appears on the ocean because of the different causes and conditions. Gravity, the wind, water temperature, the water chemicals, whatever the water is hitting up against, all those things can come together to create a wave. But the wave doesn't exist without those causes and conditions. It's empty of a separate self. It's just really a bump on the water. Okay? So human beings, we can think of human beings as being empty in the same way. We exist because of causes and conditions. Our parents met, our mother became pregnant, we were nurtured during our life, we continue to live and to thrive, have experiences, and all those things came together to make us who we are today. But we don't exist without our interconnected with all that. There's another way to look at emptiness, another perspective. And this perspective is to consider that the wave exists also because our perspective on the wave. Probably, non-thinking beings don't see waves. They don't think about waves like we do. They don't look at a wave and say, hey, I'd like to surf on that, or hey, I got to step back from the water. I don't want to get wet. We bring a certain level of understanding to waves because we're human beings. Igisu, in one of her talks, talked about a pen. She said, if I hold a pen up here, there was a pen up here. If I hold this up here, everybody recognizes that as a pen. But if I throw this on the ground and my dog comes in, he just grabs it and starts to chew on it. If you have small children, you have to break the pens up because they think it's something to chew on, or something to put in their mouth. It's not a pen anymore. It's completely changed what it is. So it's empty of its penness, until the observer comes in and applies that label to it. There's a Buddhist story about 3 beings who come into encounter with a glass of fluid. And the being from the hell realm sees a glass of blood and pus. The being from the heaven realm sees a glass of sweet nectar. And the being from the human realm sees a glass of water. It's the same glass of fluid, but these different beings, because of their different perspectives, experiences of life, because of their karma, they interpret it as a different thing. A more mundane example is that I think olives are disgusting, but my wife loves them. It's the same olive, right? It doesn't have any difference. It doesn't have any existence outside of itself. It's not like a turns disgusting or good based on, who's, it's just really based on who's looking at it. Upaya talked about emptiness in his talk as well. He talked about how on days when he's having like a no-go day, he's dealing with his chronic illness, and he goes into his workshop, and on those no-go days, it's just a bunch of tools and materials. They have he has no connection with them. He has no desire to work with them. But on a day when he's having a go day, he feels good. He goes in there, and the tools and the materials are calling to be used to make a sculpture. The essence of what they are is kind of changed just based on his perspective. So that's what we're talking about kind of with this emptiness idea. That when we look at things, we're giving them meaning. We're giving them a certain quality. We look on people, and we decide that that person is a bad person. We're putting that on that person. The other people might think that's a good person. We can see that in politics, right? There's people that think, what's going on is good. Some people think it's bad, but, it's the same people doing the same things, really. All right, so I wanted to finish my talk today with a guided meditation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the full awareness of breathing, which is on page 14. And traditionally, we talk about meditation. We talk about it in 2 types: shamatha, which is like calm abiding, and vipassana, which is insight meditation, which is like developing a deeper understanding. And shamatha, we can think of that as our basic, where we start. We're going to start by setting ourselves in a calm position, trying to develop a focus with our mind so we're not distracted, so we can really analyze and understand something. Trying to get to that level where we can see the emptiness of things. We can see them outside of our judging of what should be there. So this full awareness of breathing is really good because it sort of incorporates both of these practices. So I ask you to get yourself into a good meditation posture. If you're tired of sitting, we do have chairs up there. Feel free to take a chair. Try and sit up straight. Fold your legs in front of you. Put your hands in your lap, right hand inside of the left hand, thumbs lightly touching. Pull it up against your hand up against your abdomen. Relax your shoulders, let them go back a little bit. Pull your chin in. Tongue against the top of your mouth. Kind of looking down, or if you want, you can have your eyes closed. The idea is, even if you're really distracted, it's good to have your eyes closed. If you're really sleepy, it's good to have your eyes open. And what I'm doing is leading you through the the breath practice. There's 16 breaths, so there'll be like a short pause after each one, and then for you to engage in the contemplation part. And to start with, just do a series of 10 breaths. Breathe in and breathe out, 1, and just count up to 10 silently to yourself. Bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, the method of the full awareness of breathing, if developed and practiced continuously, will bring great rewards and advantages. It will lead to success in practicing the 4 establishments of mindfulness and the 7 factors of awakening, which give rise to understanding and liberation. One practices as follows. The first breath. Breathing in a long breath, I know that I am breathing in a long breath. Breathing out a long breath, I know that I am breathing out a long breath. The second breath. Breathing in a short breath, I know that I am breathing in a short breath. Breathing out a short breath, I know that I am breathing out a short breath. These 2 breaths enable you to cut through forgetfulness and unnecessary thinking, at the same time giving rise to mindfulness, enabling you to encounter life in the present moment. Forgetfulness is the absence of mindfulness. Breathing with awareness enables us to return to ourselves and to life. The third breath. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I am aware of my whole body. This breath enables you to contemplate the body and be in direct contact with your own body. Awareness of the whole body and awareness of every part of the body allows you to see the wondrous presence of your body and the process of birth and death unfolding in your body. The fourth breath. I am breathing in and making my whole body calm and at peace. I am breathing out and making my whole body calm and at peace. This breath helps you realize calmness and peace in the body and arrive at a state in which mind, body, and breath are one harmonious whole. The fifth breath. I am breathing in and feeling joyful. I am breathing out and feeling joyful. The sixth breath. I am breathing in and feeling happy. I am breathing out and feeling happy. With these two breaths, you cross into the domain of feelings. These two breaths create peace and joy that can nourish mind and body. Thanks to the cessation of dispersion and forgetfulness, you return to yourself, aware of the present moment. Happiness and joy arise within you. You dwell in the wonders of life, able to taste the peace and joy mindfulness brings. Thanks to this encounter with the wonders of life, you are able to transform neutral feelings into pleasant feelings. These two breaths thus lead to pleasant feelings. The seventh breath. I am breathing in and aware of the activities of the mind in me. I am breathing out and aware of the activities of the mind in me. The eighth breath. I am breathing in and making the activities of the mind in me calm and at peace. I am breathing out and making the activities of the mind in me calm and at peace. These two breaths enable you to look deeply at all the feelings arising within you, whether they are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, and enable you to make those feelings calm and at peace. The activities of the mind means in this case the feelings. When you're aware of your feelings and you can see deeply into their roots and nature, you can control them and make them calm and at peace, even though they may be unpleasant thoughts which arise from desire, anger, and jealousy. The ninth breath. I am breathing in and am aware of my mind. I am breathing out and am aware of my mind. The 10th breath. I am breathing in and am making my mind happy and at peace. I am breathing out and making my mind happy and at peace. The 11th breath. I am breathing in and concentrating my mind. I am breathing out and concentrating my mind. The 12th breath. I am breathing in and liberating my mind. I am breathing out and liberating my mind. With these 4 breaths, you pass into the 3rd domain, which is mind. The 9th breath enables you to recognize all the states of the mind, such as perceptions, thinking, discrimination, happiness, sadness, and doubt. You recognize and observe these states in order to see deeply into the mind's activities. When the mind's activities are observed and recognized, you are able to concentrate your mind, making it quiet and at peace. This is brought about by the 10th and 11th breaths. The 12th breath enables you to release all obstacles of the mind. Thanks to illuminating your mind, you can see the roots of all mental formations and thus overcome all obstacles. The 13th breath. I am breathing in and observing the impermanent nature of all dharmas. I am breathing out and observing the impermanent nature of all dharma. The 14th breath. I am breathing in and observing the fading of all dharmas. I am breathing out and observing the fading of all dharmas. The 15th breath. I am breathing in and contemplating liberation. I am breathing out and contemplating liberation. The 16th breath. I am breathing in and contemplating letting go. I am breathing out and contemplating letting go. With these 4 breaths, the practitioner passes into the domain of objects of the mind and concentrates the mind in order to observe the true nature of all Dharma. First, to the observation of the impermanent nature of all Dharma. Because all Dharma are impermanent, they all must fade. When you clearly understand the impermanent and fading nature of all Dharmas, you are no longer bound by the endless cycle of birth and death. Thanks to that, you can let go and attain liberation. Letting go does not mean disdaining or running away from life. Letting go means letting go of craving and clinging so that you do not suffer from the endless cycle of birth and death to which all dharmas are subject. Once you let go and attain liberation, you can live in peace and joy in the very midst of life. There is no longer anything which can bind you. So taught the Buddha how to observe deeply the body, feelings, mind, and objects of the mind through 16 methods of conscious breathing. He also applied the 16 exercises to practicing the 7 factors of awakening, which are full attention, investigating Dharma, energy, joy, ease, concentration, and letting go. All right, thank you. Now is the opportunity for us to share joys and concerns. So this is an opportunity to experience the 4 immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. So we can think of these as loving kindness is the wish for other people to be happy, compassion for other people, the wish that other people not to have suffering. Sympathetic joy is our ability to share in the happiness of others. We don't have to be jealous. And equanimity is our ability to experience the high points and low points of life with equilibrium. So we're not thrown into doing things that we will later regret, regardless of how happy or sad we are. So it's not that you can't experience emotions, you just maintain some level of control, not overwhelmed by them, I guess. So if you have a joy or concern, you can just raise your hand and Ananda will bring a mic to you.
Hello, Sangha. My name is Jyoti. Kunga, I wanted to thank you for telling me exactly what I needed to hear this week. This is, I call it my birthday. It's not my legal birthday, but it's the day I came out is April 30th. 2 days later, May the 2nd, I found myself functionally homeless. So we're not going to talk about what happened in between. But I had always characterized what I felt on that day as being anger, but and I was going to say that it's been 8 years and I'm still angry, but I think that it's just I was I was sitting here and thinking, it's important to distinguish between, I think, anger in the mode of this person has wronged me, this person has robbed me, and sort of self-preservation in the mode of this is really serious, I have to act or I'm going to die. So I experienced a felt shift with respect to the pivotal event in my life. So thank you deeply.
Good morning, Sangha. My name is Jueshin Su, or you can call me Shane. We got a Joy. My sister got hired into the place I work, so she got a job. That's awesome. And yeah, life is good. Thank you. Also had a really great time at the retreat yesterday.
Hi, Sangha. My name is Anna. I have two concerns. My partner is going through some difficult life circumstances, as we all do, and just asking you to hold space for him. And for me, I am traveling to visit my parents tomorrow for a few days, and we have a difficult relationship. And just asking for sending me your strength and peace, and to be slow to anger. Thank you.
Good morning, Shanta Dirty Bava, Nikki. Just feeling really grateful for a lot of things, and had kind of very brief but interesting conversation at work the other day. I'm a licensed vet tech first at work, but I'm also a wellness ambassador, and a lot of my coworkers comment on my positive attitude and how I'm able to be positive and how do I do it. And it's a lot of things that I've been through that kind of brought me to where I am now, because I didn't used to be that way. I used to be incredibly angry and always saw the worst I could see in everything. And I've been reflecting a lot on that comment that was made by a couple coworkers. And I guess, it makes me very grateful, not only for who I used to be, because who I used to be taught me how not to be anymore. And even people in my life that I currently have a very difficult relationship with have taught me very valuable lessons about how I want to live my life as opposed to how I used to. And just grateful for not only things going well, but grateful for the challenges as well, because all of those things kind of lead to being who I am today. And I'm grateful to this Sangha, like just coming here today, getting to see people that, I know and love and that have made an impact in my life and in the lives of so many other people. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to be part of this.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Amy. I have a joy that I guess stems from a concern originally. My best friend's daughter, who is 12, had a mental health crisis. Luckily, she's still with us because the attempt was unsuccessful. She's now home. She's doing a lot better. She's in the appropriate therapies. I guess the concern would be my best friend's really struggling, her mother. She's in a stage of, I guess, anger and disconnect from her own daughter right now. I don't understand it, so I'm just trying to help her through it as best I can, but I'm happy that her daughter is still with us and getting the care that she needs, but I'm also concerned about my best friend. So thank you.
Hi, I'm James. I'm just happy to be sitting between these two today. People I care about a lot. That's it.
I'll share a joy. My daughter is getting married in June, so that's right around the corner. So it's exciting for her. And then in July, I'm going to see my dad in Rhode Island for a few days. We haven't seen him in a while. I've been to his house in a while there. So those are my joys. My concern is I won't be around here for about 3 months. Nothing's, nothing bad. I'm just kind of taking a little sabbatical with things going on and just freeing up the summers to do more traveling. So I won't be here for May, June, and July, but I'll be back for the Bodhisattva ordination, and then I'll be back for the preceptor class. But just wanted to let everybody know, you don't see me for 3 months and nothing's wrong. I'm just not here, just kind of taking a little break. Thank you.
I'm Ananda Pulabhava. In the spirit of that lovely share, I wanted to share this, but I was too fearful to share it. Like, really, I am really happy, joyful that these two are here with me. Thank you for inspiring the courage.
Do we have any online? Oh, never mind.
There we go. Every cherry tree around town is amazing right now. That's a joy.
My concern is that every cherry tree is blooming right now, and I have really bad allergies. Also, in the spirit of friends, one of my best friends lives in San Francisco, and not a lot of people in my life appreciate metal music. A lot of people are repulsed by it, and he's the one person in my life who we can listen to. Just the sickest, grindiest, satanic stuff you'll ever hear. And one of our favorite groups, Deaf Haven, is going to be here, and so he's going to be traveling from California just to see this concert in about 2 weeks. So I'm excited. That's my.
Take a moment to hold those joys and concerns in our heart. So some temple-related announcements. In preparation for Mother's Day on May 11th, we invite you to make donations for flowers to decorate the temple and to give to mothers and for people to give to their mothers and anyone who feels like they're a mother or anyone who appreciates someone else as their mother. So if you want to do that, there is a little pink piece of paper in the back of your chant books with the PR code. And also you can put money in the Donna boxes at both ends, just right on there. It's a Mother's Day Flowers donation. We just had the Spring Silent Retreat yesterday. It was really great. We had about 12 people there all together, 12 or 13. It was from 9 to 4. We'll have the next one in the fall. So keep an eye out for that. It's usually on the last Friday of the month. I'm not sure exactly when that falls. The next one is, but it's a really great chance to deepen your practice, spend the whole day in mindfulness. We have an online meditation group from 6 to 6:45, join via Zoom, and Upai is leading that for me while I'm on break. You can join that via Zoom. We have a Dharma discussion group on Thursdays from 9:30 to 11 here at the temple. Contact Reverend Jing Su, Ryan Duffield for more information. We have the Grand Rapids Buddhist Temple board meeting. You can observe that today from 11:30 to 1. We're always looking for people who might be interested in joining the board, and that's an opportunity. You're not making a commitment to anything, just come and observe. You can kind of see what that looks like. We have Buddhist-based recovery meetings, Mondays at 6:30, meditation, 7 p.m. meeting here at the temple. Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. at the Alano Club, and that's on 1020 College Avenue. And Fridays, 10:05 meditation meeting at 10:30 here at the temple, also joined via Zoom. Looks like we have a potluck for Buddha's birthday coming up on Sunday, May 4th after service downstairs. Join us for a potluck to celebrate Buddha's birthday. Please bring a dish to share with a note that lists ingredients for those with food preferences, allergies, or sensitivities. And I always encourage people to bring vegan or vegetarian if they can. I already did the Mother's Day flower donation. We do have a community board at the front. As you go through the curtain, you look on the right, there's other Buddhist-related activities in the community going on. You can check that out too on your way out. That's all I have to say. Donna, announcement? Yes.
So we had our first mutual aid meeting last Sunday on the 20th, and it was really great. I wasn't sure how many people we'd have because it happened to be Easter as well. But we ended up having to pull out all the tables and fill up the room. So we're going to be meeting on the second Sunday of every month if anybody else would like to get involved. We also are currently putting together a Discord to kind of keep in touch, as well as try to figure out what all the needs are of our community and how to support each other. So I'm also really grateful for that group. So if anybody has, needs or skills, come join us. Thank you.
So Dana is the first of the 6 Paramitas, as we all talked about today. It's the practice of generosity. So you're welcome to participate in that at the temple by giving of your time. There's always, there's the Dharma disciples, and they, if you want to talk to Nikki or anyone in gray about becoming involved in supporting the temple with your time and volunteering, that's always helpful. Also, we use things like toilet paper, paper towel. They can also talk to Nikki about what those needs might be. There's Dana boxes at the doors and also downstairs for cash or check donations. And you can also give online at zengr.org/donate. All right, I think that's it. Thank you.
So after service today, if you could please look at your space, make sure that your cushion is lined up with the other ones. The smaller cushion is in the center of the bigger one. And any handouts for the chant book, just put them back in the back of that. Or you can take them with you if you want. I won't be giving this. We won't need those in the future. So if you want to take them with you, please do. And there'll be someone coming around to gather the chant books. The tea time will be short today because we do have a board meeting downstairs and we have a Dharma council meeting upstairs as well. But we encourage you all to socialize. Maybe you want to go out for coffee someplace after service, since you can't do it here. Maybe next door. But at this time, let's all stand and we'll do the Gatha of Atonements. Closing Gathas on page 6.
Uncount my beginningless greed and anger,